But my point is this, and it's kind of a different take to the one I actually thought I was going to have, because when I first saw it, I was like, hell yeah, man, you go get them, Ronnie boy. You tell them not to drink that crap. Time out of the bald a-hole here. That means I've got no hair, but I'm all right with it. I lost it a long time ago. And like anything in life, you just get used to these things. And Cristiano Ronaldo has the kind of power that one day I hope to possess. Because if you didn't see yesterday, much like how I'm sitting here now, he was going to do a press conference between Portugal versus Hungary. I believe they were playing in the Euros yesterday. And he had a couple of Coke bottles, Coca-Cola in front of him. He sat down, he looked at them. He was disgusted, like they'd insulted his mother. So he picked them up. He took them out of the camera shot. He put them to the side, and then he looked right down the lens and he said in Portuguese, I can't remember what he said, but he said, water, drink water, because as we know, he is super duper health mad. As he's 36 years old now, 35 at least, he's changed his complete diet, he's changed the way he does things, and he doesn't think that Coca-Cola is something that you should be drinking. And I have also seen other interviews, I'm sure you've seen it as well, where he says he doesn't let his kids drink Coca-Cola, or he gets annoyed when they do have Coke because he just thinks it's a pile of crap.
Coca-Cola.
Now, there are a couple of things we do need to talk about this, but the most fascinating one is that because he did this, and again, this is when it comes down to the power, he's got more power than He-Man, he wiped $5.2 billion off the company's stock price. Because yeah, as reported in The Athletic, before the press conference started, Coke's share price was AUD, is that Australian dollars? Whatever the hell it is, 56.10 each, and by the end of it, it had dipped to 55.20, marking a 1.6% dip in value. And again, loads of people go, it doesn't sound like that much, but it does translate to roughly $5.2 billion. Now, I get it. This isn't going to affect Coca-Cola long term. They will bounce back. They will probably outlast all of us. No matter what your age when you're watching this channel, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but one day we will pass away, and I bet when we do, when you're on your deathbed, if you want a Coke, somebody can go and get you a Coke. Coke also responded, and they said everyone is entitled to their drink preferences, and everyone has different tastes and needs. Players are offered water alongside Coca-Cola and Coke Zero on arrival at our press conferences, and then blah, 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 just talking about Ronaldo doing his thing. Now, the interesting part about all of this, and the thing we do need to get out of the way, is back in 2006, Cristiano Ronaldo appeared in a Coca-Cola commercial. This kind of does muddy the waters a little bit, because I'm sure back then he didn't know what he was going to have to do to his body when he got into his later years for a football player in order to keep going. And people do change, right? If right now you think blue is your favorite color and 10 years later you go, oh no, I think it's red. Well, you know, that's just how the way that life works. Given that he was probably paid millions of dollars to do that commercial, I do accept that sometimes you do need to be smart about the things that you do and the things that you don't do. And on a quick side note, yes, I think Paul Pogba then did a press conference and he removed a Heineken bottle, but it was like, Paul, you can't do it now. Once somebody else is doing it and you copying them, it ain't going to have the same impact. But my point is this, and it's kind of a different take to the one I actually thought I was going to have, because when I first saw it, I was like, hell yeah, man, you go get them, Ronnie boy. You tell them not to drink that crap. Especially because there are 0 calorie or near 0 calorie fizzy drinks that you can drink, and I get it, some people don't like the taste because of sweetener, but if you're trying to be healthy, you have to get your water in regardless. You absolutely do. Water is imperative as far as I'm concerned to any kind of fitness program, but if you want to have a diet drink here or there, if you want to have one a day, I don't think that's an issue. Here's the other thing as well though. If you want to have a full fat Coke, as some people call it, which makes no sense because there's no fat in it. But I got a bunch of friends who go, I want full fat Coke. I'm like, you know it's sugar, and I don't go past that point. Well, I don't want to know what they think because it's just going to annoy me and it's just going to upset me. And I know that Ronaldo wasn't doing this. This was just a thought that came into my head. You don't want to demonize anything too strongly either, because there are going to be a bunch of people who are trying to do diets, and if they feel like certain things are shut off from them, then all of a sudden you're going to want them more. Of course you are. That's just more than just food. How many times have you heard the story about a couple breaks up, like a boyfriend breaks up with a girlfriend, and then he sees that the girlfriend has got a new partner, and all of a sudden he wants to get back with the girlfriend because all of a sudden he can't have it. That's what the brain does. It's an absolute asshole move to do, but it's true. And while I would much rather these things do happen, because there's still so many individuals out there who don't drink enough water, or think water tastes disgusting, or don't even know that the human being is basically made up of water, so we should push that message and we should educate them. You don't want to go too far in the other direction and start smacking people over the head so that when they do reach reach for a Coca-Cola, they start to feel guilty. Because as soon as you hit those guilt pangs, whatever the hell we're going to call it, it can be a slippery slope and it can completely derail people. And again, I understand, because I know what comments are going to say. Ronaldo was not doing that. He just saw a Coke and thought, man, we shouldn't be promoting this, especially because there's probably a bunch of kids watching. And you should tell your kids, this is not good stuff. This is full of calories. This is full of sugar. If you drink too much, you're going to ruin your teeth. You're going to ruin your health. And it's not going to make you a happy chap down the line, unless the happy chapness that you're looking for is to be an absolute mess of health. But this comes back to the thing that I'm always ranting about, which is why you should tell people what a calorie is, what a calorie does, what a carbohydrate is, what a sugar is, what a fat is, what a protein is, what it does when it goes inside of our gullet. Because then, when they do pick up a can of fizzy drink, and they know it's got, 180, 200 calories, I don't know what the hell it is, and they decide to drink it, they will know how much exercise they would need to do to burn it off. They would know what's going on inside of them as they do drink it, and then they can make the smart choice. If you turn it into the devil, and people just get scared of it,
because little girls are the devil,
I don't think that helps either, because then misinformation is going to spread, and you're also taking the choice away from people, right? And you should never ever do that. You have to let people make their own choices. But I know so many people, this is what I say to them, you sort of get people that are super duper overweight and they say, what's the first thing that I should do to try and lose weight? And you say, tell me your diet. And they are having 3 to 4 cans of Coke or Fanta or 7-Up's calorie free now, but whatever. They're having 3 to 4 cans of full fat fizzy drinks a day. And if you just cut all of them out straight away, you are saving so many calories that you are going to be burning off more than you would be anyway. It's not technically true, but you know what I mean? Just by cutting out drinks. And you don't ever want to really drink your calories unless it's a milkshake, because a milkshake is delicious because of this very reason. Like, I think in a pint of beer, you get like 500 calories. If you go out and have 4, you could have smashed an entire day's worth of food, depending on what your calorific needs are for that 24-hour period. And I just think that's absolutely nuts. So what I'm hoping will happen, and it never does because it never goes this way, is this sparks that conversation. And we actually try and tell people what's going on here. And while Cristiano Ronaldo may not be so into this, because he's right. He's truly, truly right. If you had the choice and you're more concerned with your health and enjoying something that tastes good, you should pick water every single time. There is no debate to that. You are not getting any kind of benefit from drinking a can of Coke other than it tastes all fizzy in your mouth and you like whatever it is. I don't know what Coke is. I don't know what that taste is. If someone said describe the taste of Coke, I would just be like, question mark. That's what will come out, a question mark. I don't know what it's meant to be. Same with Dr. Pepper. I think Dr. Pepper is meant to be cinnamon. That's why I like Fanta. Fanta is orange. Orange I can get behind. The other part of this as well is that it goes to show how much more you do need to take care of yourself as you do get older. Now, you should never stop working out. There's this strange myth out there that when you get to a certain age, you can't do exercise anymore. And I'm always like, what the hell are you talking about? You just have to listen to your body and work around your elements. And sure, you're not going to be able to develop the same size and probably won't be as intense as you once were, because that's just, that's just what happens. As you do age and you do get older, you are going to have to change what you eat and you are going to have to train what you lift. But that just stands to reason. Like, that should always be the way as we go through this crazy journey that we know as life. Don't know what that means. You should always be willing to shift around and do what makes sense at the time. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, especially if you're not seeing any results, well, that's the definition of insanity in many ways. But Ronaldo is of such a level that he can just remove 2 cans of Coke and the stock price goes down. And this is why I don't meddle with stocks. That doesn't even make any sense to me. What do people do? Sell their shares? Because they're like, well, Cristiano Ronaldo. Did you really think Ronaldo was going to be a spokesperson for Coke? I would never have thought this. Also, I saw his diet the other day and he basically just eats like, they described it as 2 lunches and 2 dinners. And one of it was like a yogurt and some chicken, and then he had some chicken pasta in the evening. And I was like, the reason he's got abs is because his calorie intake must be so low. Don't get me wrong. Ronaldo, he's working crazy hard. He just is. You can find all these clips. He's very, very dedicated, incredibly passionate, which I find quite inspiring. But he barely eats anything. He must be hungry all the time. Have a damn can of Coke. So yeah, interesting story. I'm sure there'll be some more fallout from it, because there always is. And all football players are going to do this, and we're never going to hear the end of it. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the bell, ding ding, so you know when other videos going live. There is another video on the screen right now. Please do give it a click. Power 13 cookbook is out right now. Man, does that tie into this video. Healthy, sustainable foods which make you enjoy your diet, so you're not going to want to put it in the bin. Also got a Patreon, patreon.com/Simon316. Add Simon316 on Instagram and Twitter, Simon@thebigcartel.com. New merch very soon. I'm just waiting on one thing. It will be here. Otherwise, you take care of yourself. Remember, you're allowed a Coke. Just don't go crazy with it. Know what you're taking in and write it all down, because then you know where you can go next. I'll see you on the next one.